Alright guys, I got this Jeep up on the lift. This is a 07 Jeep Liberty 3.7 liter. Alright, and it's making a humming noise. I'm working on that side, that's why I'm not showing you guys the other side. So the bearing is bad on the other side. The faster I go, the louder it gets. So I got everything apart over here, guys, and let me show you guys what I did. First of all, do not let your caliper hang. All right, so use something to hold it like I have it there. So turn the wheel in this direction once you remove the tire. So just make a little bit of a left turn so that the hub and the spindle is sitting this way. We're gonna remove your caliper. Number 12 bolt here, number 12 bolt here. All right, take off your brake pads just like I did right here. I have them sitting here. The bracket, the brake bracket. All right, the 2 bolts, this one and this one right here. All right, they come off right here. They're number 22. You can put an impact gun long as you have a little bit in angle like that. All right, remove the axle bolt. The axle will go back, and in the back you have a bolt right here which sticks out from right here and also right there, and then we have one all the way over here, right? And I already took one out, guys. The bolt looks something like this. All right, and you need a tool kit. These invert torque sockets here, I'm using E14 here. You see it's missing, it's on that wrench right there. So that's an E14. That's what you're gonna be using right here, guys. And put a little extension on it. Do tap it in, all right, because as the socket is so rusted, it will not go all the way in. Tap the socket in, put your extension, and I'm able to turn it right here, right? I got one more left. Also, put an Allen key on this sensor here. Remove the sensor out. It probably comes with a new sensor. The one, I don't know, the customer's bringing in his own piece, so whatever he has, if he doesn't, then we'll route a sensor, which probably has a connector here somewhere. But that's how simple it is, guys. So let me remove the rest of the stuff. When I'm done, I'll show you guys what I did further, right? All right, guys, I got 2 of the bolts out, and this is the last one, which is turning right there, right? And once I'm done with this, all we need to do is hammer the crap out of that hub, and it should come out of the spindle. All right, sometimes it's not so easy, and if these bolts are not turning for you, sometimes they have thread lock on it. Heat it up, guys. All right, but I got this thing going. Looks pretty easy. There's the bolt. I can turn it by hand now, and right there. All right, and I'm gonna put this right here. All right, I'm gonna remove the sensor, then I'm gonna hammer this, and it should come off. Sometimes it's a hell of a job. Hammer, 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 and that's what you gotta do. All right, so I got Allen here. This is 5mm, size number 5. And there's our little bolt for the sensor. Let me put my ratchet right here. Save this right here. And I should be able to get this sensor out. Just wiggle it around, guys. Don't pull the wiring, because you could grab it from here, but you will break it, right? Slowly wiggle it. If you have a flat head, let me grab a flat head. Small little flat head, put it right underneath it. All right, put some WD-40 if you need to. Just move it around, and it should come out. Sometimes these are jammed, so it's always a good idea to put a new one in. But this time the customer is bringing his own piece, so I need to be cautious. And if this does not move, I will stop. Let the customer know it's gonna break. Not my responsibility there, you know, because 99% of the time they come with it usually. When I buy a bearing, I don't buy the cheap one. Usually they come with it, right? So, because they get corroded, they will get damaged. So let's put this guy right back there. So when I'm hammering, I'm not hammering the all right, enough talk about. All right, now the axle should be, do not hit this, guys. Do not hit this, because you will damage those threads. You will never put that bolt back on. Pretty easy. tap here, tap there. Not so bad, guys. Not so bad. All right, there's our bearing. This is done. All right, clean the surface here, guys. Grease it up, and we're gonna wait for the bearing. My sensor is getting over there behind the axle. Come on, dude, get out of there. All right, let me just tie this thing around here. He doesn't want to play safe. It's all right. I'm gonna clean this up. You're not gonna see me do it, but clean all this up, put some grease on it, and then we're gonna, or you're gonna reverse the procedure, right? I will show you here and there a little bit, but that's how you're gonna do it. All right, guys, I cleaned the area where the bearing is gonna go into the bore, also the surface where it's gonna meet here, and you want this to be clean, otherwise it's not gonna be flush. You might have difficulty putting the bearing in, but the bad outcome of it is, if it's not clean, it will sit crooked, your brakes will sit crooked, the rotor and everything, and you will have bad pulsation. All right, and just looking at if there's any, sometimes there's a plate here, but this car doesn't have it, so we don't need any plate here. Some car like GMs, they have a plate right here, right? That is very important to put back on, and that's like a spacer for it. Anyway, guys, waiting for the new component, and we're gonna put it back together. All right, guys, got the new bearing. The customer brung it himself, but anyways, there's the bearing, and I did not come with the sensor. I got the bolt in there, and the bolt in there, right? My socket and extension is right there. Do get the axle right through, all right? And you're gonna be torquing these bolts, all right? Make sure you tighten these bolts evenly. Don't just tighten one all the way and then the bearing is turning crooked. Tighten them little by little, right? And do it in a sequence, all right? Get it flush. Once you have it flush, you could torque it, right? These bolts back here, 3 bolts, 96 foot-pound, all right? And also torque this one, very critical. Torque this bolt to 100 foot lb, depending on your car. So whatever your car is made for, just make sure you search up the proper spec and tighten both of these bolts. And everything is a reverse procedure. Make sure you put your sensor in, put your bracket in, the brake pads and the caliper, and you're done. Bada bing, bada boom. And don't forget to test drive it and double check everything, guys, all right? So my camera is running low on battery, so I'm gonna finish this out, and once I'm done, I'll show you a video. I'll show you a little glimpse of it, of the job once it's all done. All right, guys, I'm all done. Got the new hub in there. All right, tighten this, tighten that, tighten the 2 bolts in the bracket, tighten this. Make sure the 3 bolts are tight, the sensor's tight. Bada bing, bada boom, guys. Take this for a test drive, and there should be no noise as long as you change the correct bearing, because the hardest part is figuring out which side is making noise, right side or left side, all right? Because they got bearings. If you want to do both, guys, no problem, right? And very simple job, guys, but just make sure the 3 bolts on the bearing are tightened nice and tight. Make sure this is tight according to the torque spec. All right, brakes are back together, so you shouldn't have any problem, guys. And that's it. Double check everything, and it's good to go.